Been quiet for a while. Been taking some time out to work on a few things, to review a few things, to evaluate a few things, and basically to look after me. And I want to tell you a short story. Short story, not my life story, not sharing that, and not a story for looking for sympathy or pity, but a story for a reason, a purpose. It has a why. And how often do we notice, how many people say to us, why do I always loop? Why do I always do the same things? Why do things always come back? The same thing happens to me over and over again. And sometimes people, when you're looking to make change, when you want to change things or do something different, they always think, well, you're not trying hard enough, or you're not putting enough effort into it, or you don't really want it. And they look at lots of different reasons. But there is another reason, and it could be that we've not really learned the lesson. We dip into darkness of mental health, darkness of struggling with things, darkness of not coping, darkness of just not being where we want to be, or even just not living fulfilling life. Doesn't necessarily mean there's anything majorly wrong, just it's not fulfilling us, it's not satisfying us, it's not lighting that fire in our bellies, and so we stay there and we go round and round. But the thing is, maybe there is another lesson to be learned. Maybe there's something we haven't looked at. And as I said, maybe it's as you go into the darkness, you do everything you can, absolutely, to not go into that darkness, to stay on the surface, to avoid it, to not look at it, to pretend it's not there, to do the minimum to move away from it so that you feel better, so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. And maybe sometimes to really find the light, to really find your way, to really know what it is you really want and why you want it, and know how you're going to get there, and know when you're going to start it and be ready to start it, is actually accepting the darkness, accepting there is things to learn, there is things to change, there are stuff that needs to be worked on. And then by truly working on it, then you can get to that life, to that change, to that you that you really want to be. And over the years, with many other of us, I have struggled with mental health issues and been in some dark places at times. And over the years, I've had diagnosis of Lyme disease, which led to feelings of depression, anxiety disorders, chronic fatigue, something else, I can't remember what it was, not important then obviously. And every time I went looking for the answer. I went to understand it more, I went to find what I could do about it, and I thought, move on, move forward, overcome it, deal with it, get yourself back on my feet, and here I am. And over that time, through those years, and I'm talking about years, there has been times when I've had suicidal thoughts, suicidal intent, and I have actually had plans in place and got to the point where I was ready to carry it out until something stopped me at the very last minute. And as being honest and open, I've had 2 of those moments this year where the pain, the noise, the thoughts, all of the stuff in my head just wanted it to stop, just stop. And in that moment, ending life by suicide seemed a perfectly logical, rational thing to do, because the darkness ruled the day. The thoughts made sense. That was the way to get through it. That was to overcome. And with one of those moments, ended up working with the crisis mental health team, and with a doctor before that, and he was absolutely amazing. And he listened. The main thing is, he listened. He shared. He didn't try to tell me to stop it. He didn't tell me I was being selfish. He didn't tell me, not to do silly things. He didn't tell me that I shouldn't be thinking these things. He just listened and basically said, yeah, they're shit. It's shit to feel like that. And it's strength to actually reach out and do something about it. It's actually surviving and looking to keep going, to not take that option. And that's not saying it's weak, which for me, you get that thought as well, that you're being weak. You tell people they think you're weak, you're being stupid, you're taking the easy way out, you can't cope, you're not manning up enough. But he just listened, and he sat and he talked and he spent time with me. He didn't rush things. And even though I was doing but there's other people to see, lots to do, he said, they don't matter, you matter at this moment, and gave me a lot of time. And it was because of him listening and taking time and checking in on me, even checking in on me, phoning up just to check in and seeing how I'm doing, was encouraged me to get to the point where I worked with the crisis mental health team and spoke to psychologists and got a diagnosis of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And although I don't want labels, I don't want to be labelled as that, it really helps to understand why maybe you do something, to understand that there is a reason why you have created these behaviours, why you have done what you've done over the years as coping strategies. And for me, a lot of those are avoiding, hiding, not sharing, not talking about it. And as many of you know that maybe I've worked with, one of the first things I always get others to do is name it, speak it out loud. Not to go and have to tell everyone what it is or what they think or what they're dealing with, but for them to hear it, for them to admit to themselves that that is what they're working on. And the irony is, that's the one thing I wasn't doing. I was hiding it, I was pretending, because you get that you should know better, you shouldn't be struggling like this, you should be fixed and perfect and everything else. And the thing is, doctors still get ill, mechanics' cars still break down, dentists still need their teeth looked at. We are all susceptible to physical and mental health issues. And this is me saying out loud that I am a survivor of trauma, and it has created aspects where I now run complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And at times I struggle, and at times when I struggle I have suicidal thoughts, and they have led to suicidal intent and suicidal plans and looking to carry through with it. And the thing is, there's 800,000 people a year, 800,000 people a year around the world end their life by suicide. Just under 7,000 a year in the UK. And we still don't really talk about it. Because the biggest thing is we're worried about the stigma. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? Are they going to avoid me? Are they going to shut me out? Are they going to change how they look at me? Possibly. And as a mental health advocate and working with people with mental health and running mental health first aid courses and really helping people understand and working through mental health issues as well as other coaching issues, I would like to think that I don't carry stigma. And the very truth of it is, I have been carrying a lot of stigma. Not for others, not for how others might be feeling. I spend a lot of time looking to understand how other people might feel, how they might go through these things. But the stigma is the stigma I carry for me. How I look at me. How I don't share, I don't have a voice, I don't talk about how I'm feeling for worrying, because I have had the discrimination, I have had the stigma around it when I have shared it before, and then hid it and buried it. So I carry that stigma in me. So I suppose what I'm doing is now saying that next year my birthday is let's just say a significant one in the calendar, and I am fed up running my life with this pattern and hiding from it. So here I am speaking up. This is me. That is what I've been working through and what I am currently working through. And if that means there's people that don't want to work with me, do you know what? I don't really care anymore. As they say, life's too short. I want to be living a fulfilling life the way I want. And if people want to see me a certain way because of what I'm sharing, then surely it's better we get it out here at the moment and we talk about these things. Okay, I don't know about you, 800,000 people a year worldwide, 7,000 in the UK, to lose to suicide is too much. Mainly because people don't know how to or don't know want to speak up about it. Because you have those thoughts in your head and you think about it, and the intricacy of the planning and the thinking, you think there's something wrong. But they are just irrational thoughts. and they don't have to be your rational thoughts. And there is a way to work through it, and there is a way to work on it, and there is a way to change it. But that starts by having the courage to speak up and voice the fact that you're struggling. So I am doing this today for me, not to look for anything other than me speaking up. And if that helps someone else speak up, amazing, fantastic, wonderful. But I suppose for me, moving forwards, I don't want to live this way anymore. And I'm going to be changing a lot of what I do. And if that means some people don't like it, then unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. So if you are struggling, please find your voice. Please speak up. There's plenty of people out there to listen. There's phone numbers you can call. Just speak and have your voice heard, and find a way to find your way through to the path and the life that you want to live. Please. The world is a far better place with you in it. So find a way to be here tomorrow, to wake up and challenge it as a brand new day.